Hi friends, it's Kari. Welcome back to my channel. Today we are doing day number 5 in my Lawn Fawn week, and this is also a special collab with Christy Gets Crafty here on YouTube. We have done collabs in the past, and I wanted to invite her to do this one with me as well, since this is pretty much how we met, is through the love of Lawn Fawn. So I'm going to be using 2 sets. Our theme for our collab is use one new set and one old set from Lawn Fawn. So I'm using the Easter Party and then our Friendship Grows. Our Friendship Grows is one of my absolute favorite stamp sets of all time from Lawn Fawn, and it's one that I probably will never ever get rid of because I love it so much. So what I'm going to do is a little bit something different for me, and something that I haven't done in a while either, and that is getting my colored pencils out. So what we're going to do first is create the background, and I wanted to create something that was very monochromatic, I guess, kind of in the same, light natural tones. So first I'm going to get the biggest flower from our Friendship Grows, and I'm going to create a background with the 2 flowers in this set. I'm going to stamp this all over this piece of paper tray ink craft cardstock with my Versamark ink. And I'm going to emboss it with the Lawn Fawn Rose Gold embossing powder. This is an absolutely beautiful rose gold embossing powder, and I did do a comparison with other rose gold embossing powders that I do own, and they're completely different. So if I can think about it, I will list that video up in the cards. So you want to check that out if you're interested in that. So like I said, I am going over this whole entire panel here. Now, it does not matter that my stamps are not completely clean here. That's on me. I didn't clean them like I should have the last time I used them. But since we are embossing, it's not going to matter because the embossing powder is going to cover up the entire, since it's being stamped down with that sticky ink, it's going to adhere to that sticky ink. So it's not going to even show that it's, residue of black ink. So once I get this all over my panel here, I'm going to take that rose gold embossing powder and sprinkle that on. And I love how this embossing powder really stays true to the rose tone. The other ones that I own, I believe, are from Simon Says Stamp, and I think I have another one, but I'm not sure. But I know the 2 that I do definitely own obviously is this one and then one from Simon Says Stamp. And they're 2 completely different tones of the rose gold. And I love this one because it keeps that rose look to it. As you can see, it's really pretty pinky, and it stays that way. So whenever it gets embossed, I will show you here. It stays that tone, but it also adds that sheen of gold. It's beautiful. I absolutely love it. So now what I want to do is add some highlights to this. This is something that I was kind of afraid of to do, but in the end, I'm kind of glad I did. It was something different for me because I normally don't branch out, especially on video. But I went ahead and took a white gel pen here. This is the Sakura Jelly Roll Pen. This is the number 10. This is the newest one of them. It's got a thicker tip, I guess you would say, at the bottom. And it's just a really smooth writing white gel pen. I absolutely love it. So I'm just going around and adding these little highlight details. And then I wanted to take it a little bit further than that. I wanted to take it one step further. And I thought I wanted to add just a little bit more highlight. And this is where I decided to go ahead and get out my colored pencils and dust them off, more or less. Excuse me. I haven't used my colored pencils, and I can't even tell you the last time. And it actually has rejuvenated me to think about using them more because they were actually pretty fun to use, and I forgot. I actually want to invest in some of the Faber-Castell Polychromos pencils and give those a go, but they're quite pricey, so I'll have to save up my money for that. But I'm just going around these petals and adding some white highlights all over these flowers. And then once, as I was going along, I thought, well, I just felt like they just needed a little bit more. So whenever I continue to do this, I'm going to add that little white highlight to all of the, you see the kind of in the middle of the leaves here, or the petals. I wanted to go ahead and add that highlight right in the middle to their petals too. So I do like how it turned out. I want to experiment a little bit more. This video is full of experimentations. So, you know, that's the beauty of being able to get creative and try new things, especially to, you know, stepping out of your comfort zone. So I'm going to set my background aside here, and I'm going to stamp down my little girl here from Easter Party. I didn't stamp her the best at all, so I wanted to restamp her because you can see how black she is on one edge of her. I think I got a little bit too much ink. So I'm just going to take my rag here and remove some of that ink and start over again. I don't necessarily need to use you could use your stamping tool if you've got one like a Misty, but I don't really need to since it's just the one image. And I'm just stamping onto a piece of scrap white cardstock. So once I have that, I'm going to kind of zoom you guys in here, and I'm going to start my coloring of my girl here. And like I said, I'm using the Prismacolor pencils. I don't remember when I got these, probably in the very beginning of when I started crafting. And I've probably used them maybe 2 or 3 times. I haven't used them enough like I should have. But you know, I do remember that I do have them. I guess I just haven't felt comfortable enough to use them until today. So I am experimenting here, but I think the more I use them, the more you get more comfortable. And they're obviously a totally different coloring medium than they are than Copics. So you can kind of see me as I am. I don't have any like color swatches or anything to show me the colors that I have. I just have to go by what the pencil looks like. So that's why I'm kind of going off to the side there to see what colors I have. So I'm going in with my white pencil and kind of softening that up just a little bit. I want to make sure that I have the look of highlights on her little flower petals here. And I thought that that white pencil would help me do that and just kind of round that out. So now I'm going in with, continuing on with that white pencil, but I'm also bringing in another like lighter peachy color. And then later, I'm going to just bring in some Gamsol, because I actually do have some Gamsol, and that will smooth this out that much more. So I'm going to move on to her hair here and her face. I wanted her to have blonde hair, and I wanted her to look like she is a part of the flower. So I wanted to keep her face, you know, pretty light. But her hair and around the, like, I guess the little headband part of the flower that she is wearing, I wanted that to be green because I want, like I said, I want this to look cohesive, like she is a part of the flower. I wanted to add just a little bit darkness to the edges of the flower petals here. So I brought out this brighter pink color, and it really does add a little bit more darkness to the edges here. I'm just kind of flickering this on, and it really does help the overall look of the whole entire flower here. So I'm going to go back to her face, and that's when I decided to go ahead and pull out my Gamsol because it wasn't blending out the way I wanted it to at this point. So I've got my little paper stump here, and I've just applied some of that Gamsol, and it really does break down that wax in the pencil, and it really does help smooth everything out. And you can see it just makes it all cohesive, and makes it one smooth blend. Like I said, I want to experiment more with these pencils and get my feel. Obviously, I want more colors too, because the set that I have, I believe it's the 12 or the 24 set. I'm not sure, but it's not a very big set at all. I don't have a wide range of colors, so I have to use what I do have to make what I want my little girl to look like. I have to make do with the colors that I do have, which I think I did pretty well with that. But I just had to be very, very selective with the colors that I chose. And thankfully, these areas that I am coloring are not very big at all, so it doesn't look like, you know, it's like a bad color at all. So it turned out really nice. I'm really actually pretty pleased with how she turned out with these colored pencils. So I'm going to go ahead and continue to finish up coloring her. I wanted to add like I said, a little bit of green around her headband here. And I'm just making sure that I flicker on that, that green. Another good tip that I have learned along the way by watching people use these colored pencils is you want to make sure that your pencils are good and sharp. I don't actually have a sharpener for my pencils. That's something else that I want to invest in. And I really can see why you want to keep your pencils sharp, because it really does help to get your color on, and it really does help if you want to do like some flickering motions to keep those sharp too. But for this image, I think it turned out just fine. So I'm just going to continue to finish up her little shoes here and blend those out. And then I'm going to take the coordinating die and die cut her out off camera. Super cute. I love how she turned out. So now we're going to work on the sentiment here. I've got a piece of white cardstock that I die cut with the Everyday Sentiment banners from Lawn Fawn. And I'm going to take this sentiment Feel Better from the Simply Sentiment stamp set. And I'm just going to stamp that out with my Extreme Black ink from MFT. And I'm going to add my little girl to my banner. So I'm just going to add some liquid glue right on the end there. I chose this sentiment in particular for two reasons, because I don't have a whole lot of cards that say, you know, like feel better or, you know, cheer up or anything like that. And two, it's going to help me, it's a short enough sentiment to where I can add my little girl on the end there. So off camera, I just added some foam adhesive to that banner there and to the little girl, and I'll pop that up on my panel. Now I'm going to score my card base, which is the same paper tray ink kraft cardstock. Like I said, I wanted to keep this all monochromatic and really, you know, natural looking. And so now I'm going to add some liquid glue to my main panel here and get that into place. And then once I do that, then I'm going to work on the inside. So for the inside, I'm going to take that same large flower from Our Friendship Grows, and I'm going to stamp this out in the dough ink from Lawn Fawn. And then once I do that, I'm going to take another sentiment from that Simply Sentiment stamp set and stamp that out in the plastic flamingo ink. And that says, Thinking of You. Stamp that right in the middle there. And then once I do that, that completes this card. I hope you guys enjoyed so much this series. I have enjoyed bringing it to you. And I will have also listed below in the description and up in the cards Christy's video, so you can go check that out as well. Thank you so much, Christy, for joining me on my Lawn Fawn week. I love you so much. And be sure that I do still have my giveaway video. I do have some giveaways going on, so be sure to check out that video. I will have it also listed in the cards and below, so you can check that out. Thank you guys so much for watching my channel, subscribing, and always having your encouraging comments in the comments. It's just awesome. I will see you guys in another video very, very soon.